you to go like, follow, and subscribe Soul Productions.
What's up, everyone? And this is Next Level Thinking. What's up, everyone? It's another episode of Next Level Thinking. As you always know, we help you take it to the next level. It's your host, Chris Holmes, and today I have a special guest with me by the name of
Dr. Oliver T. Reid, the relationship architect.
Relationships is probably a heavy topic right now. So go ahead and hit the ground running and tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Again, my name is Dr. Oliver T. Reid. I'm the relationship architect. I specialize in 4 areas, helping people with self-care, with themselves, relationship with self, relationship with God, platonic and romantic relationships, and business relationships. So out of those 4 categories, I do that. I'm a multi-best-selling award-winning author, motivational speaker, and a philanthropist. So I just believe that there are solutions in relationships and solutions.
Gotcha. It sounds like relationships is the key to everything. So we're going to go into like the origin of everything. So like, how did you get into this? Because I know like there has to be a buildup or a story that actually got you into it. Was your personal experience? Like tell the audience and me like what's going on to that, the story building.
Yeah, man. It really happened for me, man. And being a person that I've always loved to build relationships, also been a part of bad relationships where I've been the person that lacked or I was on the other side in lacking. But either way, it was one of those things I said, hey, this is something here. I got to really focus on it. And I love to empower people. So one day I was with my life coach and he was like, man, you're a relationship architect, based on your scores, based on the observation of your answers, you love building relationships. And I was like, aha moment, the sky open. I'm like, yeah, I do. And then from there, I just hit the ground running, man, and just start helping people in dating and relationships and coaching and just being able to write books and produce products that enhance healthy relationships.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. So like, what is probably like the most popular one? Because I know you had, of course, romantic business. Can you hear me? I think we had a little glitch. But you hear my question?
Oh, can you repeat it?
Yeah. So my question was like, what is the most common relationships when it comes to questions about your expertise? Is it like romantic, business? Like which one is it?
It's really the sauce of the day, but I would say most of all, it's the romantic relationships. Women want to know what men thinking and how to process in a relationship. So that's my number one, I would say.
Oh man, hold up! The guys ain't speaking up. Wait a minute, I heard that you said women want to find out what men are thinking. So what's going on?
It's like they want to get in the head. They're usually trying to figure out like how do I relate to my husband or my boyfriend or whatever it is, and I kind of give them an inside track. So I get an audience a lot of times with women who really want to know how to effectively communicate with their spouse, their significant other, and I just kind of take them through the steps and kind of keep it 100. And just tell them, hey, this is what men want. This is what they need. And then I also run gut checks on men. So I do have an audience of men where I kind of empower them too, to kind of say, hey, man, let's step up. Let's be able to feel our emotions and have an interview about our own relationships and who we are as men. So it's kind of like that dual role, man. But that popular question is romance. Like, how do I spark and keep my relationship going?
Gotcha. Very hot topic, especially with everybody trapped inside. But I have a question I'm gonna put on hold, but I want to go this like, so what's the importance of building relationships in business? Of course, hopefully when we get back to things kind of to this normal, relationships is very important when it comes to business because it's who that actually gets you the connections or open the door so that you can thrive. So I want you to go ahead and hit on that for a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's one of the powerful things is that relationship business is so important, but you have to treat it just like a platonic or romantic relationship. Commitment. You got to have a commitment into business, and you have to be faithful over it. One of the things I love what you're doing, Chris, you're faithful. You're doing this podcast every week. You're hitting the ground running. You're doing a whole lot of different things. You're staying faithful, but see, people look at that reward and things that you're, big doors open for you, and they're like, how do you get there? But it's almost like, hey, it's ongoing. You didn't see the back times when I was like, nobody was calling. And so you still got to stay faithful even after that honeymoon season of business. So what I'm realizing now, man, especially for us speakers, this has been a hard challenge because we can't go out, so we had to really adopt and say, hey, listen, let's level the playing field here. Let's go virtually. and let's do what we can do, whatever, or write, or whatever. But it's one of those things where you're really saying now who's really faithful in their business when things are shut down. Because some people just sit back, eating, chilling, feeling depressed and watching the news. But you got some people that say, getting the ground running. I've been more busy now. I don't know about you, Chris, than I've been when everything was open. It's like I've gotten busier, if that's the word.
And I actually like that a lot, because that's what's going to like thrive you past the rest of the competition. While everybody's on breaks and like, hold up, let me wait a minute. Like, I don't know, you over there putting in the work to get ahead. So when things get to that normal, everybody's gonna be like, wait a minute, how did you get so far ahead? Well, while you over here just chilling, I was putting in work. So you got a lot of groundwork to come up, and trust me, you're not gonna catch up.
Yeah. We putting in reps over here. You got to keep putting in those reps.
Yes. So like one thing when it comes to relationships, every time I hear that, is the importance of effective communication. And I want you to go a little bit more in detail of this, because when we're romance, business, or trying to get things done, you have to be very effective with communicating of what you want, because nobody can read your mind. Because it's like how we started in the beginning, how we're trying to figure out what's in my husband's head. So I want you to hit your expertise onto that.
Yeah, man, I think effective communication comes with basically looking at relationships from the inside out. We live in a day and day time, Chris, where people are always looking externally, what you have, where you come from, what you're wearing, to where it takes a long time for people to kind of get to know somebody. You can be with somebody 20 years, you can marry somebody, you can be dating for 6 months or 6 years and not even know the person. Right? And the only way you're going to be able to do that is ask the hard questions and being able to interview them. I always say that interview is that INN, ERVIEW, to be able to ask the question to get an inside of them. I need to know what's inside of you. I'm not so much impressed with my relationships. This is business. This is platonic. This is romantic. This is all the different things that I kind of cover. I'm not impressed by the outside of those relationships. I'm more impressed with what's in the inside of those relationships. If I'm in a business deal with somebody, if I'm in a business relationship, I want to know past that product. I want to know why they produce this product. I want to know how. I want to get to understand, why am I in a relationship? Do we have a relationship mission, right? Why are we together? What do you mean when you say X, Y, and Z? So you only can get to know people by asking questions and giving them a safety area where they can answer truthfully and honestly. A lot of times we answer questions that we really don't want to hear the answer to. Like I really want to know something, but really I don't. But when you have that openness, that is one of the reasons that you really can build healthy relationships and allow that communication to come. I'll say this last point. A lot of times we want to ask questions in the way we want to ask them.
Oh, man.
And we expect people to respond. Like, I'm just direct. But the person I might be dealing with may not be direct. They may need the fluff. They may need a different type of communication style that I have to adopt if I want to be effective with them. It's not that I'm being fake in who I am, but I'm also saying, hey, well, I don't want to lose the whole war. So maybe I'll lose the battle with how I'll say this so that I can get the answer I need.
Okay, awesome. So with that, I have a follow-up question with that great answer. How does a person build up the confidence to ask those hard questions? Because a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, we ask those like kind of little any bits kind of questions, kind of like dance around it, and the other person's like, so what are you asking? It's like they're like, I still don't know you. But like, how can you help a person actually just, all right, here's what I want to know? Because that's, I think, is what it really needs to boil down to.
Yeah, I think it's two ways. And I was talking to a group of women the other night. I think it was about 100 women on a call, Zoom call. And we were on the call, and I started to say, hey, this is what you have to do. You have to ask the cheesy questions first, because it's all about trust. And it's about being an athlete. You gotta be able to understand, basically, if you're a basketball player, you gotta learn how to dribble first, right? And so before you want to go around your back and do all these nice spazzy moves, you need to be able to dribble, not double dribble, right? So I tell people all the time, you have to trust your partner. You have to say some cheesy, ask them something cheesy, so you get in the comfortability
Breaking
to be able to
ice.
ask the hard question. So now we've been talking. So now, okay, I'm working my way up. I ask you something funny, then we go to something kind of medium, then we get up to, and then you also, the other thing I would say, prepare them. Don't quit catching people off guard. Hey, you can say, because think about it as an interview today. You say, hey, Oliver, are you available? We've been trying to get this interview together for a while. I finally agreed to the terms. You sent the invite. I clicked on the link. It's not a surprise that we're here together, right? But in relationships, we just want to be like, we go from eating cereal on the couch to major credit score issues that I want to find out about. We go from just hanging out to what was your dad like? Can we get a scheduled time that we talk about some real issues? And I think when you do that, it's fair on both sides. I'm going to be asking some questions. You make that known, and you set a time to do so.
Yeah, that way you're not like, wait a minute, I didn't see that coming. Like, whoa, this is like a whole water hose effect. I got just
Yeah.
trying to like keep up with everything. So like, what has been the impact with you speaking at different kind of locations and things like that? I know that you're providing a lot of different value. So what has been the impact not only for yourself, but the people that you're actually speaking to?
Wow, that's great. It's been great. I think, we've had a chance to share some platforms together. Chris, it's been always different. One of the things that I try to pride myself on is that I don't always have the message for the day, but I will find the messenger. And what I mean by that is there might be somebody in the room that my message will radiate, and I feed off of that. I feed off what's in the room. And sometimes, you prepare, and I do put in the reps, and I have a lot of things that I want to say. But what has been monumental is going into those places and people say, hey, man, you really hit the core. I really enjoyed the meeting. And if you know me, I'm very interactive. So anything that I'm doing is always going to be interactive. Games, I've created books. So when they have an encounter with me, one of the things I always try to do as a young speaker, I felt like I always had to talk. As a young speaker, I was like, I got to say this, man. My speech got to be popping. It's got to be great. I got to be a prognosticator of information. I got to be able to do that. But then I found out, man, I can be myself and find the energy in the room and ride on that energy and adopt to that. So whether I go to a teacher at a school, whether I'm talking to CEOs or janitors, I'm able to get on their level and do it. So the impact has been great. I've been featured in a lot of different things, and a lot of stuff to come, but it's being adaptive. It's being able to go into that environment and say, hey, I don't have the word for the day. I might be able to feed off the energy that's in the room. Nice.
Now you mentioned something about a game. You got a game, like you like to develop games. Like, what's up with that? Like, help me out, cause
yeah. I always keep them handy, Chris. I always keep my cards somewhere.
Oh, you got the cards out.
But this is called the interview game, right? It's 29 cards, 116 questions to ask the hard questions that you always wanted to ask in your relationship. And it's not just a romantic game. It's for couples, singles, but you can also play this in business. I have a lot of therapists who actually play it. I actually have a lot of people who use it as icebreakers at events. And we were at a speaking conference, Effective Conversation tour in Dallas, and San Antonio. We were all over Houston, and Austin. And I used these games every time and got different response, and it kind of broke the ice. And people started talking, and then we had to cut it off. Yep. So it was like, it's fun. You can play it. I took all the games, Chris, that basically I loved as a kid and put it into a serious format. So I call it serious fun. So you got a little kind of Uno component. You got a little Pictionary component. You got a little draw it out, act it out, charades.
Nice.
Depending on your cards, we ask hard questions, and we have fun doing it. So I did that. So I created that game, and I'm about to do a follow-up game to it for corporate. So I'm excited. It's just always something that comes to me to build relationships. So inside of that, I'm still building relationships.
Awesome. That's what it's all about. The architect. Hold on. A quick question. You don't need a drink for this, because you may have some like questions in there that may throw people to loopholes.
It's very serious. I had a friend of mine, Chris, say this. He said, "Man, you don't play the interview game unless you're serious." He said he played this game right here. You got to be serious when you play the game.
Nice. I like that. So, do you got like any kind of books and things? I know you mentioned the game, but do you have any books or any future projects coming up?
Yeah, always keep them near me, Chris.
He came prepared. Stay ready.
Came prepared. This is actually my office, which is kind of like my dining room table. While everybody's eating, I'm working. This is actually a book I came out with. And this is the proof of this book, but it's called 6 Ways to Examine Your Relationship from the Inside Out. I just released this in quarantine. And I tell people all the time, why are you waiting for the quarantine to be over to do stuff? This is the time when you do stuff. I'm stuck in go mode anyway, Chris, sort of like you. We do a lot of multiple things, but I wrote this book in quarantine, and I had another event that's coming online that I actually did during the quarantine. And so this is my free book. Basically, if you're watching this, all you got to do is go to follow me, and you can click on 6 Ways free book. And you'll get this free 6 ways of examining your relationship from the inside out. Hot off the press. When I say this is fire, that's why I had to make it red. It's fire.
Gotcha. So with all this and much more, what are some future things you got coming up? Because I know you mentioned Zoom a couple of times. Is there any way they can kind of get involved with that as the progress and much more happens?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I have going on, I have an online experience now, but you can go to my website and you'll get all the information probably at the end of this podcast. But one of the things that I did is that I got so much good feedback from the actual game when people play it that I actually have now turned the game into an hour experience with me. So whether you're in a relationship or you're single, you can come online, play with me all exclusively. You can actually play me at that particular place, and you can actually continue to do that. So from that standpoint, you can go online and play an interactive round of the game with me. So I'm excited about that, man. And it's totally dope. It's going to be fun. So then you get a recorded session with me, and also you get a relationship assessment. So it's so fun.
Gotcha. So with all this and much more, especially with business, relationships and all that, I'm trying to see how I can package this real quick. So what are some of the great connections that are come along with that? Because I know with you, this is like daily life. So your business,
Yeah.
relationships, and all that. Like, what are some of the great connections you were able to access by doing this and being like that? I guess connecting the bridge with people.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've actually, what I've done, man, and it's been the grace of God, has allowed me to connect with people that I don't have to seek out speaking engagements. It used to be a time where I was seeking out, oh man, what am I going to do? I need to be a part of everything. I've gotten so much traction across different events, from women events to corporate events to ministry events. Because relationship, I always tell people you can't go anywhere without a relationship. And so it has allowed me to meet some great people. I've been in settings with Les Brown. I've been in settings with Chris Holmes. I've been in settings with Chip Baker. I've been in settings with all different types of big time names. And it really has been a blessing, because it's almost like, hey, I'm a relationship architect. And I used to figure that I had to choose. I'm sure you heard this before, Chris, like, you're just all over the place. You need to find one thing to do. But now I realize, man, when you think about relationships, I am the relationship architect. Wherever there's a relationship, I could go to it. And it set me free, because I was like, man, I don't have to choose to be, oh, I'm just going to speak to men, or I'm going to speak to whatever. I do have a concentration area. You're going to hear something about relationships, and that's a common thing. But at the end of the day, I've actually spoken to colleges. I've actually been able to connect and go overseas to people who had to interpret, just because of what I bring. And so I always say that being you is so amazing, and keep that up. But also relationships, I have relationships with people who are doing plays, and I got a new relationship not too long ago where I got to be featured in a documentary as an actor. I always wanted to be an actor. So it's the sky's the limit.
That's nice. Great, tremendous amount of value. So with that, I have to ask you this question right here: the importance of having a great relationship with yourself. So I'm gonna let you take the mic on that.
Yeah, I love it, man. Great questions, man. One of the things about that is, wherever you go in life, whether you become a paraplegic, president, janitor, motivational speaker, you're a speaker just by yourself. You're going to be with yourself. And I think that that's a powerful thing. No matter, you're going to bring yourself to the table. And I hear people all the time, especially in relationships, I don't want to be with him. I don't want to be with her. I want to be by myself. But you still got to enjoy yourself or learn how to deal with yourself by yourself. So the biggest thing that I learned, man, is that loving yourself, self-love, self-patience, and self-perseverance. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves, we don't even give ourselves any grace. We give all these other people grace and opportunity to make mistakes, but we are so hard, we don't get up. So my biggest things I teach people all the time, and I'm practicing it, is, man, love yourself. Look in that mirror and stare yourself dead in the eye and say, I love myself. And say it till you mean it. First couple times you may not mean it, but say it till you actually feel yourself loving yourself. And when you love yourself, man, you put more value on yourself.
Gotcha. So we're gonna close this out real quick, but I want you to leave closing comments, or better yet, just leave a closing statement to let people think about and tell the audience where they can find you.
Yeah, I always say this, closing statements. You're not what you touched or what has touched you, but you are imprinted by what you hold on to. And I'll say that again. You're not what you touch, not what you've been through or what has touched you, but you are what you hold on to. And you're imprinted by what you hold on to. So that's my closing statement.
Gotcha. Where can they find you at?
You can find me at The Relationship Architect at IG. You can find me at www.youronesolutioncoach.com, which connects you to all my social media. And also you can Google me at Dr. Oliver T. Reid, and you'll find me on all social media outlets.
Awesome. So we're going to close this out with fire energy and make sure that you help and build those great relationships. And most importantly, make sure that you love yourself, because like it or not, you got to drag yourself somewhere. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. Anywhere you go, yourself is going to go. So with that, we're going to wrap this up. It's your host, Chris Holmes, on Next Level Thinking. And I have my special guest by the name of
Dr. Oliver T. Reid.
Awesome. Make sure you subscribe, share it, and motivate and keep the messaging things going, because we got to help everybody take it to the next level. Peace and much love.